to a nursing home up in Riverdale, and I'm speaking to the superintendent.
Talk to them.
And the man comes out all discombobulated. She said, "Mr. Zimmerman, why are you so discombobulated?" He said, "Why not?" He said, "My penis just died." He said, "Your penis just died?" The things these people say. Well, the next day he came down and his fly was open. He said, "Mr. Zimmerman, what is it today?" He said, "Remember yesterday I said my penis died? Today is the viewing." I'm very glad that I'm glad it's this week and not last week. Last week I couldn't make it because I got a call from Florida. My uncle died at 95. Well, he didn't die. He overslept and they buried him. And he was a very strange man. He was a guard in a bank, not a regular bank, a sperm bank. A sperm bank is different than a regular bank. A sperm bank, after you make a deposit, you lose interest. So I went down there, and as long as I'm down, I went to visit some of my relatives. I have an aunt who retired. She's in Century Village. She has a scholarship. So, used to be a flamenco dancer in a Taco Bell. So we sit and we talk, and suddenly this very dignified man comes in and he hands her a card, and then he hands me a card, and I happen to be a visiting rabbi. I look at the card, my God, I said, "You are at the Fontainebleau. You have to have a hell of a congregation to be able to afford to live at the Fontainebleau." He said, "I have no congregation." I said, "You have no congregation? What do you do for a living?" He said, "I work for Ever-Ready Batteries." Ever-Ready Batteries? What do you do? Well, I stand in the factory. I stand at the end of the assembly line. When the batteries come off the assembly line, I stand there and I say, "A long life! A long life!" And then she introduced me. And then, this rabbi told me he had a very strange experience. He said, about 3 weeks ago, a man called him and said, "Rabbi, you got to help me. I've been married for 25 years, and I have a strange feeling my wife is trying to poison me." He said, "Send your wife down to talk to me. She may have something to say." So he sent his wife down, and the next morning I called this man and said, "Listen, I spent 3 hours listening to your wife. Take the poison." And you come to Florida, you go to a doctor's office. I had an uncle who was, for 5 years they treated him for arthritis. Then he found out he had a pebble in his shoe. So I took him to a doctor. Now you come into a doctor in Florida, you hear sounds you never heard in your life. You hear coughing, sneezing, farting. So I come in with my uncle, we sit down, then another dignified couple comes in, they sit down, and then the gentleman came in alone. And about 5 minutes later, he leaves out a wind, a shot, the wallpaper curled up. So this husband of the woman said, "How dare you fart before my wife?" I said, "I didn't know it was her turn." These things happen. But I must tell you, in conclusion, people come to Florida, it's the fountain of youth. They're looking for youth. Well, this man, he'd been married for about 50 years. His wife passed away. So he went to a plastic surgeon and said, "I want a complete makeover. My eyes, my facelift, everything, do the whole thing." So he does the whole thing, and he walks out so springy. As he walks out, he gets hit by a truck. So he's laying there in the street, says, "God, how could you do this to me? How could you, when you needed money for the temple, I was the first one. Whenever you needed help, I was the one." So the next voice you heard was, "Schwartz, that's you? I didn't recognize you."